Respected Chairperson, Professor Biplav Lohochandri on the dais, esteemed panelists, and senior media educators, faculty members, and my dear students. As we all know, the concept of inclusive society, that is society for all, is based on fundamental human rights. All human beings are born free, and hence they should enjoy equality in dignity and rights. As we know, this was established, the concept of inclusive society that was established in World Summit for Social Development, which was held in 1995, where it was labeled as a society for all, where every individual with equal right and responsibility has active role to play. So we can say inclusive society is very much based on principles of diversity and fundamental equality for all individuals. And our own Indian Constitution, our own Indian philosophy, that stresses this inclusiveness, this inclusion, and the very basic mantra that we know, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. That we pray for universal welfare, universal peace, and beautifully depicting the whole idea of well-being of all. Constitutionally, we agree upon equality, as we have, right to equality enshrined in our Constitution, and where it is enforced by law also, because we have, 6 fundamental rights, and we can claim our rights using law. But rooted in the principles of social justice, all individuals, regardless of age, gender, religion, race, socioeconomic status, they should have full participation in the society. So constitutionally, no doubt, we agree upon inclusion, social integration, but implementation becomes challenging. This integration brings the formation of a society where everybody has his or her place, his or her own niche. No, I don't mean it as an undifferentiated mass, but society with different elements, different members. Still there is acceptability. We accept diverse views, and everybody has a say. Well, Indian philosophy that goes well beyond that, when embracing the concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam, the whole world is a family. So valued that it is engraved in the entry of India's Parliament building. All of the word, Vasudev Kutumbakam, eternal reality, and we are one family. So all the word, not only the word, the universe is one. So this is the beautiful philosophy we live by. If we believe that there would be no exclusion, no equality, no divides, exclusion comes from stereotypes, prejudices, and stigmas that are socially constructed and have long-term influences on our behavior towards others. For creating inclusive society, we have to take into account both the social and the economic factors. Socially, the creation of a just, equitable world, which gives stability, trust, cooperation, social cohesion, and economically, the equal opportunities for all, for shared prosperity. The concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam is great strength of India, making it distinct from others. Why we need to adopt a framework given by some worldwide acclaimed agency? How to have an inclusive society? The very basic lesson is ingrained in our own philosophy. It does not begin with what to do with society. It simply states, think about a family of your own, where everyone accepts other with all the similarities and differences, with diversity of individuals, and yet the family flourishes as a unit. My point is why we are putting so much responsibility on media. Knowing the very basic character of media, as we all talk about on different platforms, that it is market driven, it is market oriented, governed by some forces, media hegemony we are talking, itself lacking, and media which is itself lacking diversity and plurality, which are fundamental qualities of inclusive society. So what is required for an inclusive society? As we all know, fundamental human rights, freedom, rule of law, participation in civic, social, economic, and political activities, participation in decision-making processes, whereby, and when we have a look at media itself, maybe the organizational structure or the functionality of media, we found a number of biases, gender biases, regional biases, and we are expecting, this kind of media to play its role in creating an inclusive society. So mainstream media, as we all know, it lacks diversity and plurality. But the core of this inclusive society is full participation in all aspects of life. So we talk about women, children, youth, older, persons with disabilities, migrants, ethnic and religious minorities. And have you seen the representation of all these segments in the media? So when we talk about representation of all these segments in media, we find the situation is very dismal. The media, no doubt, is an important pillar of democracy. It shapes the society, not just it is taken as a technology, as our previous speaker was pointing out, but media is regarded as a big opinion maker, opinion shaper. Besides disseminating information, it has become the voice of people, including marginalized segments also. It is a platform to exchange diverse views. And we also talk about watchdog function of media. It can contribute to social integration, but there are many challenges, like challenge of digital divide. So access to internet is increasing worldwide, but still there is a gap between those who have the access to technologies and those who don't have. A big gap of rural, urban, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, young, old, men, women. So a lot of biases we can see. Then shrinking space for public issues. Like so many researchers, they are working on the analysis of media content. Like we come across, many researchers. Someone is studying the coverage of developmental issues in media, or environmental issues in media, health-based issues in media. And I think for the past decade, the same results we are getting, that the coverage of these issues is almost less than 2%, right? So why the space for public issues is shrinking? I was talking to an editor and he said, media is a package. We have to take into account so many things. So what matters if this particular issue is given that much space? So this is the work for academic researchers. So the TV debates, social media monitoring cells, they ensure a particular kind of narrative is built where space for public issues is restricted. Then we are seeing the smart use of AI. Like social media, they are designed to present information that we are most probably like to click on. There are two factors combined. One are natural tendency to consume information, and second is reinforcing our pre-existing biases. So we are groping in same kind of, information sphere. Then we have business models also, pressures on journalists to deliver media content. So we don't find, diversity in content. There is homogeneity to a great extent. Then we have the issues of misinformation and disinformation, because this gatekeeping is casualty in social media. Access to free and unchecked flow of information is not there, and we don't know why we are being targeted. So control is difficult, and we also, mostly the advice is for self-regulation and the code to follow the codes, whatever codes are available. Media can build informed public opinion. It can provide space for open debates, inclusion, social integration, pluralism, through professionalism. So, when we talk about inclusive society, participatory democracy and participatory media can be the solution, but where is this kind of media actually exist? So where can we find this kind of media? It's hard to answer. So the baseline is that the critical thinking, we cannot put thirst on media for creating inclusive society. So we can have learners, citizens. The stress on to inculcate critical thinking among the students, among the citizens, and we are talking about the critical thinking skills in NEP 2020 also. So it's important, how can we train young minds to be critical thinkers? Why things or actions are as they are, what is missing in the masses, and how to raise questions on the basis of their own experience. So, like our Indian tradition that stresses on Samet Chintan, that is to see things as they are, to have healthy doubt, to raise meaningful questions. And Buddha has also appealed in to his listeners not to accept discourses passively, but analyze it critically with their own real-world experience. So my take on this theme is that instead of looking for an established system, how to create an inclusive society, we can explore the roots of our own Indian tradition and philosophy, and I think that will give an answer to the questions we are looking for. Thank you so much.